started as a department with 2 programs. Program number 1 is our flagship Bachelor of Commerce that we're still going on till today. Program number 2 was known as BA Secretarialship. So ladies and gentlemen, let me see those who did BA Secretarialship. I know Lady Anampra did BA Secretarialship. She completed in the year 2000. Edna Okole, BA Secretarialship. We have Becky Mensa, also BA Secretarialship. Then we have the oldest BA Secretarialship aspirant. Let me use the word aspirant. Ladies and gentlemen, we have George Kwao Enu, who completed in 1984. So he's among the oldest products of School of Business in this room. So we had Bachelor of Secretarialship that was later changed in the year 2000 to Bachelor of Management Studies. So when I came to the University of Cape Coast in 2001, we had Bachelor of Management Studies instead of BA Secretarialship. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2001, the School of Business had become Bachelor of Commerce and BA Secretarialship. In 2004, this program was metamorphosized. It was metamorphosized. I hope there are no scientists here. The programs were metamorphosized and the school changed, or the department changed, from the Department of Business Studies to the School of Business. And later on, we developed 5 programs and 1 center. Today, we also did redenomination, as Ghana did to their currency. We also did redenomination to our programs. Ladies and gentlemen, we recategorize our programs into Bachelor of Commerce. So our flagship program, Bachelor of Commerce, remained, and we restructured our programs to have Bachelor of Commerce Accounting, Bachelor of Commerce Management, Bachelor of Commerce Supply Chain, Procurement and Supply Chain, Bachelor of Commerce Human Resource, and Bachelor of Commerce Marketing. Today, we run programs in undergraduate, master's, and at the PhD level. We are hoping to receive accreditation to even start our doctoral programs. Ladies and gentlemen, clap for the School of Business. We have also seen individuals who, through their unique effort, has made the school what it is today. I remember in our days, we have, and some of my colleagues will smile when I start mentioning the names. Dr. Ewa Boatin. What was he handling? Accounting and cost accounting. Ladies and gentlemen, we had KK Boachi. Ladies and gentlemen, if I remember, we have people like Bochmens. Who is Bochmens? Professor Boachi Mensah. Yes. The Gen Zs will not know these names. I came to meet His Excellency J.E. Sedo. He's still here. J.E. Sedo, give us a wave. Now, the only change on his face is the gray hair. Ladies and gentlemen, we also saw people like one of the HODs, Kojo Mensah Esquire. If you remember Kojo Mensah, he comes for lectures. On the pulpit, he will remove his shoe and walk with the legs. Sometimes he takes off his shirt whilst he's lecturing law. And he will teach you law, and you will feel. We had Obonsuo. Who remembers the name of Obonsuo? He was a law lecturer. This one I should do a quiz. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we also have Professor Edward Mafuyadom, who became the Dean of School of Business, and he is known as the founding Dean of the School of Business. Professor Mafuyadom was assisted by Professor F.O. Boachi-Mensah, and then later on, we had the founding Dean of the Law Faculty, Professor Bonza Simpson, who became the Dean of the School of Business. Mafuyadom came again for another term, and ladies and gentlemen, we had one of our deans also here, who has just left to join the Bank of Ghana, Professor John Gachi Gache. On this note, may I hand over to my MC to carry on? Thank you.
I'm sure some of you were still calculating your age, right? Looking at 1980. But I'm happy to be a product of BCom, the BCom program. So to our international students, we want to say bonjour, bienvenue. All right. Oh yes, they are clapping for me. At least I tried. I said something. Yeah. Director of DAPCA, please, we want you upstage. Professor Daniel Japon, yes, we want you upstage. All right, so we want to continue with the program by calling on the acting dean, Professor Samuel Kweku Ejay, to give us the welcome address. Shall we give it up unto him as he comes after? Please, Professor Innocent Senor Aqua, Vice Dean-elect, we want you upstage, please. Sorry about that.
The Vice Chancellor, represented by the Provost for College of Humanities and Legal Studies, Professor Kwame Osei-Kwatin, our distinguished guest speaker and alumni of the school, Honorable Sir Tekpe, Member of Parliament of Cape Coast North, Honorable Dr. Kwame Naminte Nyako, our own Raga. The Provost of College of Distance Education, Professor Anoche Adam, Director of DAPCA, Director of Human Resource, Mr. Adom, the immediate past dean of the School of Business, Professor John Gachi, all other past deans here present, deans of sister schools and faculties, college registrar, faculty officers of other schools and faculties, board members of the School of Business, management members of the school, faculty, administrators, partners, our esteemed alumni, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You are especially welcome to the School of Business at 50 lunch. And this is the UCC School of Business that aspires to be the best school in Africa. We hope to achieve this by not only doing the right things, but also doing things right. To us, the term right has a different meaning. We aspire to provide reliable services through integrity, through good governance, honesty, and teamwork. Over the past 50 years of the school, we have been pursuing this objective. Even though the mission was recently carved, past deans and then administrators have actually worked hard over the years to achieve this core mission of the school. And through their efforts, the School of Business has actually grown tremendously. We started with no department. Now we can boast of 5 key departments. We started with no center. Now we have 1 center, CESED. We also started with no units when it was established. Now we have 2 of them. And then enrollment, per the records, we are told, for the 2 programs, Bachelor of Commerce and then Bachelor of Secretariatship, put together, we were doing less than 10 for all of them, at least for the first 5 years. Now we have more than 6,000 students enrolled in the school, pursuing various programs, undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Interestingly, currently we have 20 foreign students at the school, coming from various countries around us in the sub-region, Europe, and then the United States. So we have students from Togo, we have students from Ivory Coast, we have students from Niger, we also have students from Benin, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, France, and US. So the programs that we currently run are not programs that are designed for only domestic or local students. The School of Business is also has its presence cross-country. Prof. Chair, given this trajectory of achievement, we believe that we have outlived the dreams of the founders of this great school. So at 50, the UCC School of Business may consider itself as a fulfilled institution. Fulfilled because of the cutting-edge, world-class programs that we run, coupled with seasoned faculty that can compete with any world-class business school. We have achieved this feat through the dedication, hard work, and commitment of past staff and heads of departments. We can mention Dr. Ewabwate, Lawyer Kojo Mensah, and then Professor Mafu Yadom. We've also done so through our past deans. And we have the first dean being Professor Awusabo Asare, Professor Edward Mafu Yadom followed after him. Then Professor Bonzi Simpson was next. And now our immediate past dean, who has been poached by BOG, Professor John Gachi. We are so grateful to our past vice deans also, Professor Boachi Mensah, Professor Mrs. Rosemont Bohine, Professor Sian Frimpong, Professor Mrs. Elizabeth Annan Pra, as well as our past boards, faculty, alumni, administrative staff, and other supporting staff. We are grateful to them for making this 50-year journey a successful one. It is through their hard work that the school can now boast of 37 academic programs from the previous 2 that we used to have. And in the coming years, we plan to add about 24 academic programs because of the stages that we have reached in developing or getting them accredited. Again, through their hard work, previous years where we used to have just 1 full-time lecturer, we now have 65 full-time lecturers with in various categories. In fact, it was difficult for you to count a professor at School of Business, but currently we can boast of 9 full professors, 12 associate professors, 15 senior lecturers, 29 lecturers. And then, not only that, we have a physical identity as a school. we have 1 administrative block, 1 guest house, and then 1 uncompleted School of Business complex. All to the hard work of our past deans and staff. Prof. Chair, except for the inadequate infrastructure, the School of Business at 50 would have been a complete success story filled with merrymaking. Modern day business schools are not only competitive on cutting-edge programs and distinguished faculty, but also on sufficient and appropriate infrastructure that allow for building real-world business simulations for proper student grooming. On this, our school can hardly compete even domestically, not even to think of internationally. The school's administrative block is constructed and renovated through its internally generated funds is gradually outgrowing its usefulness due to the increase in programs, number of faculty, student numbers, and the specific demands of some unique postgraduate programs, like the DBA and then the PhDs that we are running. The School of Business Complex, which was being funded by the Ghana Education Trust Fund, has been abandoned since 2008. Even though people with business backgrounds are trained to turn problems or challenges to business opportunities, it is evident through previous efforts that the school has done its bit in dealing with its challenges. Virtually all our existing infrastructure was put up or acquired through IGF. We want to use this opportunity to then appeal to government, university management, donors, alumni, and our partners to come to our aid. In fact, following the launch, we will be coming to you for support, and we hope that our request will meet your kind consideration. Prof. Chair, our successes and challenges in recent times have shaped our theme for this anniversary and the programs that we have outlined. In it, we embarked on a float through the principal streets of Cape Coast yesterday, and by the grace of God, attendance was close to 1,000. We did a 9-kilometer walk, and after that, based on the approved budget for us, we did a small kinky party in front of the School of Business courtyard. Today, we are having a lunch now, after which there will be an SHS business quiz. Then, mid of July, we are going to have a public lecture on AI and business solutions. Then somewhere in August, we also have a public discussion on Galamsey and alternative livelihoods for affected communities. We will also continue that in October with business clinic for SMEs. Then we will follow that with a staff health screening in November. Because we want all our stakeholders to benefit from this anniversary, we are building a strong connection with our alumni. So in November, we are going to have a continuous professional development for our alumni. We've already started a database, and then we hope that members will sign on to it so that we use that database to do an online engagement with our alumni. On the 5th of November, there will be an exhibition of scholarly works for members of the school. And the Grand Deba will be on 6th November at the School of Business Complex. In that, we'll be doing fundraising to support the school's building. We also have an alumni homecoming on that day. On this note, Prof. Chair, on behalf of the school board, management, staff, and on my own behalf, I wish to welcome everyone and wish you all a successful anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we receive our foreign students?
Shall we give it up unto them? Let's give a clap unto them.
We have the foreign student coordinator behind them. We have students from the United States. We have students from Cote d'Ivoire. We have students from Nigeria. We have students from Senegal. We have students from Benin. Clap for them, clap for them, clap for them. This is the rich culture of West Africa. The rich culture of Africa. Let's give it to them. They have a lovely dance for us. You can move your body on the seat. You can move your body. Thank you so much. Clap for them as they. Let's give it to them. Thank you very much, the foreign students of School of Business. On this note, I want to introduce the dignitaries on the high table in no particular order. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Member of Parliament. Oh, I haven't called you. Wait. This is my place. Ladies and gentlemen, he happens to be a lecturer of the School of Business, a senior lecturer with the Department of Marketing and Supply Chain. Before he exited, we have Dr. Kwamina Minta Nyaku, Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North, a product of School of Business, a former Hall President of Kisley Hayford Hall. Fellows. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have the Provost of the College of Distance Education, Professor Anoche Adam, also a lecturer at the School of Business. We have from Population and Health, a rep for the Dean, Professor Samuel Adolati. Prof. Thank you very much, sir. We have from the Directorate of Human Resource Management, the HR Director, Isaac Adum Kunedu. Thank you very much, sir. We have an alumni from the School of Business who completed in 1989 again, John Kuntun Blankson. 1984, I have been corrected. So it happens to be the mate of George Kwao Enu, and then our former Honorable Minister, who will be introduced very soon. We have also the heads of department. We have from Department of Finance, Professor Twenebua Kodua. From the Department of Management, we have Professor Abraham Hanson. Prof, it seems you have a lot of fans here. We have from the Department of Human Resource Management, Professor Nana Opong. From the Department of Marketing and Supply Chain Management, we have Gloria Kakraba Kwashi, Professor Gloria Kakraba Ejipon, Director of DAPQA, and then we call him Professor Quality. And then he's the incoming provost of the College of Humanities and Legal Studies, Professor Daniel Ejipon. Look at the combination. You had two Ejipons at the backstage. We have Professor Daniel Ejipon and Professor Gloria Ejipon. See how wonderful School of Business is. Ejipon. See how wonderful School of Business is. It created this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. On this note, I would like to welcome Professor Elizabeth Anampra to introduce the chairperson. Let's give it to her. She is known as the Lady of School of Business. Lady, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our honorable MC, honorable dignitaries. Good morning. I believe we are all fine. Good. I'm here to have a simple job, introduce to you our chairperson for the occasion. Our chairperson is a professor of history. He did both the undergraduate and the master's here in the University of Cape Coast. Having done that, he proceeded to the University of Birmingham to do his PhD. As a renowned professor, a renowned historian, he is a distinguished academician who has distinguished himself in most of the areas. He's been a Dean of Faculty of Arts. He's been the president of Tvucc for some time. He's currently the provost of the College of Humanities and Legal Studies. Because of his immense knowledge, he became the chair of the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. Our chair for the day has a number of publications to his credit. He's married and he's a staunch Christian. Chair, you have served on the University Council and you still continue to chair on most of the boards and committees in the University of Cape Coast. Shall we, with a round of applause, welcome our chairperson for the day, Professor Kwame Osei-Kwateng. Professor Kwame Osei-Kwateng, and he wants to be called Osquat. Prof, your audience. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, lady, for your kind words. In actual fact, the Vice Chancellor of the university should have chaired this occasion. But due to circumstances beyond his control, he decided to request that I should represent him this morning. I would have been here all the same in my capacity as the provost of the college, because the School of Business is one of the schools within my college that I am proud of. And to use and to use the biblical language, this is my beloved son with whom I am well pleased. The speech I'm going to deliver is not my speech, but I'm delivering it on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Johnson Nyakumbuampong. Then later, when I'm called as the Proco, the Pro-VC is not here, so I jump over it. The Provost of the College of Humanity, that is myself, other provosts here present, directors, past deans of School of Business, deans of sister schools, and college registrar, faculty officer of other schools and faculties, board members of the school, management members of the school, faculty, administrators, partners, our esteemed alumni, students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is a special day in the life of the University of Cape Coast School of Business. Today, we celebrate a great milestone of the school from a humble beginning of one undergraduate program and at a point being one of the Department of Economics with predominantly part-time lecturers with no physical identity some 50 years ago to an enviable feat of 6 undergraduate programs, 30 master's programs, 1 doctoral program, and an administrative block. In the coming years, the school will be adding 7 professional doctoral programs, DBAS, 7 research doctoral PhDs programs, 6 master's programs, and 4 undergraduate programs. Student numbers have grown from the initial position of about less than 10 students to the current level of over 6,000 students. The growth in programs and student numbers of the School of Business mimic the growth in the capacity of faculty. Today, out of the 65 full-time faculty, the school can boast of distinguished professors, senior lecturers, and PhD holders who are not only supporting the development of the school, but are also contributing immensely towards the development of the University of Cape Coast and our country, Ghana. Our products are everywhere shaping corporate decisions, national policies, and international policies, working assiduously to make this world a better place. The Bachelor of Commerce brand is now a household name. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will agree with me that these achievements are worth celebrating. I am proud to be associated with these achievements, not only because of the number of years that the school has existed, but also because I can testify to the hard work, dedication, and professionalism of both faculty and graduates of the school. I was privileged to have worked with Professor Mrs. Rosamond Bohene, the immediate past Pro-Vice Chancellor of the great university, Professor Mafu Yadom, Professor Anochi Mohammed Adam, Professor Daniel Ajapon, Professor John Gachi, and Dr. Karen Na Atta are testaments to the influence of the school on the administration of the university. In the corporate world, in politics, and globally, I receive unique testimonies on the performance of the products of the School of Business. It is in this regard that I find the theme for the anniversary, expanding the frontiers of business excellence, appropriate, given your school's achievements and the numerous challenges confronting our universe. When businesses excel, societies get better, and I know that our great speaker is more than qualified to deal with the topic. I believe that this celebration is also a call to duty. As the account proverb goes, se etre ntia yenyai eche soa. To wait, for as long as the head has not been cut off, it will continue to carry a heart. To this end, I am happy for your dreams to enhance existing infrastructure for the school. But beyond the dreams, plan for them and do not forget to at all costs, implement the plans with cogent contingency arrangements. The school's board, management, alumni, staff, and students are encouraged to take bold initiatives that will lead to the achievement of the vision of the school, which is to be the best business school in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, my administration is willing to offer any support needed by the school to chart a new course as it begins another milestone. On this note, I am glad to accept to chair the 50th anniversary launch of the Great School, and I encourage all of you to support me in performing this onerous task. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Prof. Chair, for your response. So, I remember when the Vice Dean, the Professor Kukweje was, telling us about the history, a brief history of the school. He mentioned quite a number of deans that have served the school. But looking around, we have one person, our immediate past dean, who we miss so much. And we'll call on Professor John Gachi to give us a message from our former deans. Prof, we are honored to receive you and welcome home.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. In fact, I was not aware that I'm going to make any comment here. I just want to say that just as we supported one another to grow together, to develop programs and vision together, we should continue in that spirit. And when we do that, I believe our frontiers will be enhanced and we will achieve much more than we have today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor John Gachi. When you left here, I could smell money here, Prof. Prof Gachi, I could smell money here. Yes. I want to recognize the chairman of convocation, Professor Vincent Asanfu. Prof. Next to him is a former student of the School of Business who happens to be the mate of Professor Ejepon, the mate of Dr. Kawal, the mate of Professor Kwekweje, and Reverend Taki. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Professor Bright Asante, a peer from Lehigh University, Pennsylvania, USA. He completed the University of Cape Coast in 2003. 2003, and he read Bachelor of Commerce. On this note, I would like us to welcome, also to give a short message, the Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North, Honorable Dr. Kwame Naminta Nyaku, aka
Professor Chair, all protocols duly observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning into afternoon. Good afternoon. In 2009, I had the opportunity to come back to Ghana. And the reason is that after my first degree, I relocated to the UK. My reason for coming back was to come and teach. So I went for an interview. I went with Ikosi. I went with Abigail. I think she's now at UPSA, right? Yes, and who are that? We came for an interview. Francis Otu was also part. And I wasn't too sure what to wear for that interview because the weather was very hot when I got back. But I was just trying to let you understand. So as we went, I met Ike Kosi. He was the first person I met there. We became friends before the interview. And that was the very first time we became friends. And in my first lecture, when I was in the UK, some of my lectures, when they were going for lecture, they put on Simanjole. So I also decided to try it here. So my first lecture, I also put on Simanjole. Then all the students were confused. Their confusion made me also confused. Then one gentleman, I call him the short Ike Enim. He approached me. Then he said, "Excuse me, are you a lecturer here?" I said, "Yes, I am." "Please, distance, we don't do it here." I'm only trying to share some experience since I came to the School of Business. The school was too busy, was too serious. So I decided to make myself the entertainment chairman for the business school. So I was bringing the fun to the business school. You see all of them wearing suits for lectures. I wear jeans and Lacoste. It wasn't to show that I didn't want to conform. It was just for us to understand that we cannot be all serious all the time. We can't be unserious and still be serious. So we're playing football together all the time. Every Thursday we go and play football, and it was fun. You see, Ikosi, he was the one who was striking. You couldn't phantom the fact that the guy could run that much, but he was doing his best. Ike, the short man, was playing midfield. He was always distributing the ball according to the direction of his stomach. It was fun. We had dinners. I remember one time, Prof. Manfo asked us to come to the School of Business guest house to go and have dinner after one of the shows. Prof doesn't take alcohol. And for that matter, he said that he was not going to serve alcohol. Some of us, alcohol are one of the things that we also use to relax. So we had to go and smuggle. So we went to the clubhouse, we smuggled beer in a crate, and we brought it to the place. All the other teachers who liked the club were coming to my table. And it was fun, because the entertainment chairman was right here. Then it got to a point where we needed to be serious with our publications. We were asked that the university is more interested in people who are publishing. That was when we realized that the entertainment must go down and must sit up and write publications. So that's how we were able to sit down, and we're collaborating amongst ourselves to work. And that is one of the things I've been able to appreciate at the School of Business. There's unity. Even if we have some personal issues, when it comes to us working, we get all of us on deck and we do exactly what is meant for us to do. And I appreciate all of you for that. Professor Daniel Japan, we call ourselves Cream. When he sees me, he says Cream. When I also see him, I say Cream. We've been friends. He's been a very good gentleman, always advising me, pushing me to the fore to make sure I deliver. When he was in my HOD, he was always disturbing me. Come and put in your papers. Get your prof before you go into politics. Get your prof before you go into politics. But the politics is a P. So I also have my prof there. So I want to thank him so much. The School of Business, you've shown so much love. When I decided to go into politics, all of you were there to support, regardless of your political affiliations. And I want to really use this opportunity to ask if all of us can get up and observe 1 minute silence for one of my friends I lost at the School of Business, Dr. Tvucc. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Sit down, please. Thank you. Dr. Tvucc was one of my closest friends at the School of Business. He was a strong MPP man, and I was going for NDC. We'll meet and we'll argue, but wherever I'm going somewhere, he joins me, but stands far away, so that nobody would take a picture and send it to his party members that he's following me. Until he passed on. We were there when he passed on. We spoke, I think, 3 days before he went into coma, and he never joined us again. I also want to stay here and thank him so much for the support he's given me. School of Business, I'm doing my best to do what I can to support you as your member of parliament. I pay a lot of school fees for the students here, and I'll continue to do so. Last month, I had a discussion with the Minister of Education, and I'm proud to let you understand that we are going to revive the construction of the School of Business. And that is one thing I'm going to ensure we do it before the end of this my political term. And I'll ensure that it is done at the School of Business. We'll also have something to be proud of. I want to thank you so much for having me. And I also want to thank you so much for all the work you've done to bring the School of Business to this particular point. When the fundraising is in, I'll come and do the needful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raga, for all the experiences you shared and the assurance you've given us for the fundraising. I think we should give it up for him. These are money matters, so we need our building. So thank you in advance. And we'll hold you accountable to that. We'll hold you by your words. Okay, so at this juncture, we are just going to receive a beautiful musical interlude to refreshing us, whilst Dr. Mrs. Anastasia Kumikosa prepares to introduce our guest speaker. So shall we enjoy the music?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I want to stand on the protocol already observed and say I thank you for having me. My name is Mercy Achiano, and I'll be accompanied by Gilbert Combs and Barnes. And today we want to join you to thank God for this you have achieved. So I want to sing a song that everybody knows how, and I'll be glad if you will join me. Thank you. You don't see